All right, so this furry little fella that we see on our screens right now just killed 3 people. I know that sounds shocking, but it's true actually. Well, not specifically this rodent. I just wanted to show you this pygmy rice rat has been suspected and linked to something what we now know is called the Hantavirus, which has killed 3 people and have gotten 5 to 6 more people on a particular ship sick. You know, according to multiple reports, they say passengers on board the cruise ship that has a suspected hantavirus outbreak where 3 people have died and 5 to 6 people are sick cries out as the ship remains near Cape Verde. Hantavirus is a rare but serious illness usually spread through contact with rodents or their waste. Additionally, what I've been able to learn,
this sound like this might be a problem.
This virus is basically spread, I think, airborne via rat urine, feces, or their saliva. Typically, if in closed environments, and rats, they can crawl in tiny spaces and or ventilation systems where they, you know, they poo, they pee, they eat. The dry particulates of their byproduct, their waste, can then be mixed in with dust, then spray that out for ventilation, and humans can breathe that in. Unfortunately, it is a very deadly virus. You have like a 50% chance of living or dying. I would not want to catch it, which is why they were holding off on even allowing these people to board or dock anywhere. But I believe, last I heard, they're slowly letting these people off onto land now and trying to take very serious precautions as to how to handle this. And of course, someone said, sink the ship immediately. Yeah.
Right, because this sounds like this may be a problem. I mean, can we live? Can we live? If it ain't COVID, it's this. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think that's a bit too serious, but you never know. And the kind of scary thing about this is a passenger on
Sink
the
that mug.
Hantavirus, I believe it's called, which is what it's basically a polar Antarctic expedition ship where, you know, rich people, not too rich, but $10,000 to $15,000 per ticket. I think they loop around South America to head on over to Antarctica on these polar expeditions. Well, a passenger from the cruise ship, kind of a small cruise ship, about I think 75 passengers or so. He came out speaking about his experience, and so far, by the way, 3 people have died. The first person to die was a 70-year-old. He caught the virus. Long, excruciating, I think painful, slow death. And then his wife died in South Africa, where they managed to dock, I believe, or allow her to hop off the ship, get medical attention, and she died. And then I believe a 3rd person died who was a staff member. But anyway, here is his experience. Here is what he has to say.
Man, I hope they get this under control. But I got a feeling that we are about to go through it again. We went through it in 2020, and I think we're about to go through it again. Man.
I wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I'm currently on board the MV Hantavirus. And what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story.
This is crazy.
We're not just headlines. We're people.
Guys, read between the lines. He's making this just in case he dies, because apparently they were saying the ship was going to stay out there in the, I guess, in the ocean and sea waters for a month. I don't think that's happening, right? I think they're slowly letting people off the ship, taking extreme precautions. But of course, since this thing has like a 40 to 50% survival rate, you know, I guess this is.
Man, they need to leave that ship out there in the middle of the ocean where it's at, and make sure everything is good before they start letting them people get off, man. Because even if they're not showing symptoms while they're on the ship, they may start showing the symptoms once they get off, man. And this could turn into a big, big problem.
Kind of like his last will.
People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
Jesus.
All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away.
Right.
It's happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can, but for now, I just ask for your kindness and understanding.
So,
man, that's exactly why I don't mess with them cruise ships, man. If I'm going to go on a vacation, I'm going to go to another country where I can be on land. I'm going to be by the swimming pool, I'm going to be laid out by the ocean. But you better believe I'm going to be on land, man. You ain't going to catch me on one of these ships. Stuff like this go off, and then you're stranded, man. And like I said, they need to keep that ship out there in the middle of the ocean until they figure this thing out, man. And make sure that them people are all clear before they let them touch feet back on land. That's for damn sure.
Guys, a lot of countries were aware of this, and they just did not want these people to dock. They're also saying that this was picked up somewhere in South America, specifically around Argentina, although I think epidemiologists, these people who study the transmissions of viruses, correct me if I'm wrong, are saying they're kind of in debate about what part of Argentina this virus, this hantavirus, possibly spreaded by the pygmy rice mat, was picked up on. But yeah, it's from one of these rats, these pygmy mice rats. As you can see, Google says there's small nocturnal rodents in the genus I can't read that. Found throughout Central and South America in diverse habitats such as forests, scrublands, and agricultural fields, right? They are solitary, mainly terrestrial, feed on seeds and insects, and can be agricultural pests, right? All right, so rats, mice. And you know, people are now saying things like, I looked into that cruise ship outbreak, and bro, I will be watching how that'll be handled like a hawk, because one slip up and it's another pandemic for all of us. I don't think that'll happen. Although, you know, we always think it won't happen to us until it does.
Man, I'm gonna have to disagree with him right there. I think it's a good chance that it may happen. I mean, how did that Rona start? With a lab rat or some lab mice, and here it is. These rats are running around with this crazy Hantavirus disease. It's not good, man. And that Rona thing supposedly started in a lab across seas, and it ended up in America, in the United States, and shut everything down. So like I said, I think it's highly possible for us to go through it again with this outbreak going on. Man, can we live? Can we live?
People are saying all eyes on this hantavirus outbreak. It's not looking good. One person, Greg, said, so should I start buying toilet paper? You know, in reference to the COVID coronavirus era. They also say just in Switzerland detects hantavirus in MV Hondius passenger hospitalized in Zurich after onboard outbreak alert.
Man, I hope we don't start going through that again with the toilet paper and all that, because that was madness. I hope we don't start running out of toilet paper because of this. Craziness, man. Crazy work, man. Crazy work.
So I'm not sure if this was like a random person from a previous expedition and or a person who was let off that specific ship. Here, as we can see, is the MV Hondius. It basically, by the way, this company, I believe they have a history of expeditions, scientific research, and now they're in the business of selling tickets to just regular people who want to go on polar expeditions around.
I'm gonna have to stop him right there. Did he say that they conducted science experiments and things like that on this ship at one point in time? So they probably still do it on the low. And these rats running around with this Hantavirus is probably an experiment, just like the Rona was. Man, we gotta be careful, man. This thing may get out of control, and it may be in the United States before we know it.
South America and into Antarctica. And of course, in the comment section, people say give it a month and this hantavirus would have spread all across the globe and active outbreak alert, and they still let passengers off the ship. Those people are on connecting flights right now. Of course, people, I don't know about the validity of them being on connecting flights. I doubt they would allow that to happen if we assume, you know, this isn't calculated. Listen, I'm not getting into any conspiracies here. I'm just saying, based off of I think the transmission rate, I think they call it the R0 of contagion. They're saying it's below 2, so the contagion rate is not that high, and the lethality of it, they're saying is pretty high. But it's just crazy how allegedly, supposedly, one little rodent can cause so much damage. Like, good God. New York Post here says cruise ship infected with terrifying hantavirus strain that has 40% mortality rate, which is great. 40% is crazy. Damn. I understand why nobody wants to take the risk. World Health
That is absolutely crazy. A 40% mortality rate. If you catch this, man, you might die, man. You come in contact with this. It's all bad, man. Like I said, I hope they get this under control. But I got a feeling that this may spread in the United States. Facts.
Organization believes here's what happens next. Again, it's not Jesus. It's not looking too good. 40% mortality is crazy.
Right.
And just for reference, the mortality rate, or IFR, for COVID is like 0.05%, which is 0.5%, which is 1 in 2,000 people, just for reference. And this virus is what, like 40 times that? Anyway,
like
New York Post says health officials believe a rare strain of Hantavirus that spreads from person to person and has a 40% mortality rate is responsible for the outbreak on the MV Hondius cruise ship that has killed 3 passengers and sickened 7 others.
People already dying from this, man. You got a 40% chance of dying if you get in contact with this craziness, man. This virus that these rats are running around spreading. Just from them using the bathroom, that stuff can get in the air and it's over, man. It's all bad, man.
And this is the ship right here. They say, though hantavirus is typically only spread through rodent droppings, this particular strain is an alarming exception because this is a first, I think, of its case historically, and it's one that can't be ruled out. I was doing a little digging last night. They say this is the first time something like this in this specific way has happened. So that we're in uncharted territory here. And
exactly. And they're going to be claiming that since this is the first time that we ever experienced something like this, we don't have a cure for it yet. And then what's going to happen after that? They're going to quickly make a medicine and experiment on people again. Here, try this. This should cure it. And then you really die? Oh, man, this is wild, man. This is beginning to be too much. Like I said, man, can we live? Can we live?
I believe this is a closer shot of the ship right here. An official said, we do believe that there may be some human-to-human transmission that is happening among the really close contacts. They also say the exceptional strain, the Andes virus, or Andes virus, is only found in the mountains of Argentina and Chile. The MV Hondius started its weeks-long voyage in Argentina on March 20th, but not in an area where that strain is usually found.
Wow.
Understand the language here. Usually found.
Wow.
They say the Andes hantavirus strain carries a mortality rate of nearly 40%, meaning a worst case scenario could spiral quickly in a confined environment such as the 80-cabin, 353-foot ship with roughly 150 people on board. So it's double what I thought initially.
This is crazy. Have you even heard of a Hantavirus? This Hantavirus just comes out of nowhere, and now everybody's in danger, man.
Strain seemed even more likely after the World Health Organization said no rodents were found on board the vessel. That's crazy.
Yeah, right.
See, that type of stuff when I hear scares me because you find no rodents on board. Were there any droppings? But, you know, where did this come from? Surely they had to have found something. They can't just find people sick with no evidence of them being sick from something on board, unless this came from mainland and then spread it from human contact.
That's possible.
Here we have some screenshots of the place on board. Yeah, clearly people are scared. They're in their cabins. Yeah. Here's some footage I just found on TikTok from a news publication.
Of the cruise ship currently hit by a hantavirus outbreak looks like. This footage was taken by a passenger on board the MV Hondius in December 2025. About 150 people are currently stuck on the ship, which left Argentina in April for Cape Verde, and a number of passengers have been infected by the rodent spread virus.
Okay, so to clarify, this was filmed in December of 2025. So this is just a video inside someone has filmed, just to show what the inside of the ship looks like.
A Dutch couple and a German national have died. died, and a UK national was evacuated from the ship and is in intensive care in South Africa. 3 other passengers with suspected hantavirus are now en route to the Netherlands. A man in Switzerland who was travelling on the MV Hondius but left his trip from South America at the end of April is also in hospital with the virus.
So my suspicions were right. This guy actually was on the same expedition, the same ship, but he left earlier in the trip. Okay, so apparently where they left the trip, they left from St. Helena, which is a remote volcanic island in the South Atlantic Ocean. And just for reference, St. Helena is right here. Pretty remote, not gonna lie, but you can see it's between South America and off the coast of Africa, right? And this is a polar expedition, right? This is typically the route needed to reach Antarctica, of course, which is like at the bottom of the earth, South Pole, right? And they're saying the hantavirus may have been picked up somewhere around this area, Argentina. I mean, listen, man, I hope this really doesn't turn into something major, you know, because we don't need another multinational lockdown, global lockdown, although I don't think it'll get that far, but if it...
Like I said, I disagree with him. I think it may get that far. It's been 6 years since we had that other situation. And now with the wars and everything else that's going on, I would not be surprised if they hit us with this. And I bet you within a matter of days or maybe even a week, we are going to start hearing about cases of this hantavirus right here in the United States. Watch.
Does in some way, shape, or form, right? And people get scared. Guys, just stock up. You know, I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm not here to cause any panic because I don't want to do that for anybody. But, you know, better safe than sorry. Because, you know.
So in hospital with the virus. Robert Viguero, who took this footage during a trip in December, said he had no issues with cleanliness on board, adding the cabins and bathrooms were clean daily, and the common areas were also very clean.
So clearly this is not the issue of the ship. Clearly, this is an anomaly, sure. But listen, biology, epidemiology, viruses, Mother Nature self-corrects all the time. It's just, this world is full of very random genetic events that happen all the time. Mutations occur all the time. It just goes unseen until a human comes in contact with it and it's compatible with our DNA, and you know the rest. Someone said in the comment section, though, being broke saved me again. And another person said, stay safe, don't dock, and be healthy. By the way, these were from 4 or 5 hours ago. So this is just a continuing, developing, you know, story that a lot of people are now becoming aware of. And guys, here's this video I want to show you.
Things are moving fast for the passengers aboard the MV Hondius. For those people who are sick with hantavirus and those who are desperately hoping that they are not, the World Health Organization just told me that the 3 sick but living passengers will be airlifted off the ship by helicopter by the end of day today. They're believed to have hantavirus, and this is the same virus that killed 3 other people on that boat in the past days. But first, we need to understand what kind of ship that they were on, that they are.
And I want to know, where are they taking those 3 people? I hope they ain't bringing them here.
Okay. The Hondius isn't your average cruise liner. This is a polar expedition vessel and operated by Oceanwide Expeditions. It's purpose-built to take really hardcore wildlife enthusiasts to the most remote corners of the planet. Exactly. Antarctica.
And as I said before, each ticket for this expedition, $10,000 to $15,000, not normal. The average person can't spend a third of their yearly salary on a ticket. Clearly, this is skewed towards the wealthy or the retired.
Up to St. Helena, one of the most isolated islands on this planet. You can think of whales, dolphins, penguins, seabirds, up close and personal and in the wild. Ann Lindström, the WHO representative in Cape Verde, told me this may be where it all started. She says her educated guess is that passengers were exposed to the virus off of the ship in those remote landings, in those wild environments where rodents carrying hantavirus live undisturbed until people disturb them. Then back on board the Hondius, the first symptoms started appearing in early April. Fever, gastrointestinal issues, then turned into pneumonia and respiratory failure. 3 people we know are now dead, and now the 3 being airlifted will be flown to the Netherlands. 1 is Dutch, and the ship itself will then sail to the Canary Islands, which Lindström told me has experience handling hantavirus cases. Now, as for those 140-ish passengers and the crew who are still on board, Lindström also told me that they could be stuck for up to 8 weeks on board, because that is the full incubation window for hantavirus.
So I thought that was just a rumor. 8.
them people may have to stay out there for 8 weeks to make sure everything is good. And I don't disagree with that. And the people that got sick, I hope they don't let them come over here to the United States. As a matter of fact, anybody that's been on this ship recently since this broke out or been to any of those places where they say it may have came from, they need to be banned from the United States, because soon as those people get over here, oh, please believe we're going to start hearing about cases right here in the United States. And that thing is going to spread like wildfire. And we don't need that. We got enough going on right now. We don't need that.
Weeks, what is that? 2 months? Holy shit. I heard initially a month. Now this guy.
They need to be banned for life. I ain't gonna lie, man. At least maybe give them a year. Quarantine them for about a year. And let's just make sure that they're good before they can come back over here to the good old U.S. For real. We got enough going on, man. We got enough problems. We do not need this. We don't need no more stuff right now, man, to cause us any issues.
From ABC is saying he spoke to the World Health Organization and experts. Told him that 8 weeks, that's awfully long. I guess they're going to transport
it ain't long enough.
And water and food to the ship while it remains just, I guess, floating in the ocean.
That's basically 8 weeks of just not knowing what's going to happen. We've already seen the video from that one travel blogger who was teary and stressed out.
Yeah.
You can really feel it. But before the internet here tells you this is why they would never cruise, Lindström was clear to me. No rodents have been found on the Hondius.
I don't believe that.
That's scary.
Has traps, and that Hantavirus is not COVID. It doesn't spread person to person in the way that COVID does. And then I asked her directly, is this a pandemic level threat? And she said, it's not.
It's not. Okay.
Not yet.
Guys, what do you think? Crazy story here. I don't know what to think. I don't want to exaggerate and blow something up that it's not, or make things bigger than it appears to be. But of course, always take precautions. Knowing that some guy who didn't know he was infected was on a plane and actually was on board with other people moving through airports. And we know how virus spread. We know how viruses spread. Just be careful. Be sort of wary if you're in these regions. And yeah, take care of your health. This is a developing story.
Man, I hope they get this under control. We don't need any more problems. This Hantavirus thing may get out of control before we know it, man. And we'll just have one more problem along with all the other ones we got. High prices and all the other craziness, man. Let me know what y'all think about this down in them comments. It's Big Lamar, not the little one. Like this video, share this video, and do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and hype this video up, man. And I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been subscribing lately. I really appreciate y'all, man. I'm on the road to 10,000, man. Let's go. I'm gone.